Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true.
Welcome to Night After Night, a podcast about 8 seasons in a row. I'm Mr. Fernandes, and
I am Chris Jayawardena. Hello.
And we're reviewing The Quiz Show, which is an episode from Season 4 of Laverne Shirley. Directed by Howard Storm and written by Monica Johnson. I bet you got some facts about them, don't you, Chris?
I got a handful here. So, yeah, Monica Johnson, or Monica McGowan Johnson, she also co-wrote Buddy, Can You Spare a Father and Honeymoon Hotel with Eric Cohen. Here she's solo, with one more to go for the series. But as mentioned, she was a close collaborating writer with Albert Brooks, working on Modern Romance, The Muse, and Lost in America, among a couple of others. Reportedly, I looked up some information. Their trivia says she apparently would wear 4 hair curlers to work. And the story goes that she was a single mother working in a social services office in L.A. when her brother got her a gig typing scripts for The Odd Couple in the early 70s. But realizing that she had writing talent, her brother then later got her a job writing a spec script for Mary Tyler Moore, and that was kind of her foot in the door. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's really neat.
Yeah,
that's really super neat. I really like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And regarding Howard Storm, it's, hello again, Howard Storm. Sadly, we have to say hi and bye. This is his last episode for the show, which is a shame. Because as we're recording this, I've been editing through the season 2 episodes mostly, and he did a lot of really good stuff during season 1, season 2. But the good news was he went into the greener pastures with Mork and Mindy, which he did a whopping 58 episodes for. Before continuing his illustrious career as a sitcom director. And one of my personal favorites for this, and he also did one of my personal favorites for the show's second season. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of the main details about them. And I guess, yeah, what is this episode about?
I'll let you know.
Hey.
The girls, boys, and Carmine all attend an airing of a stunt-driven game show, Be Silly for Dollars, together. While Carmine, who's been watching the show since he was a kid, is the only one with a strategy, first Lenny and Squiggy and then Laverne Shirley are selected to play. While Lenny and Squiggy happily settle for a giant loaf of salami, Laverne and Shirley manage to beat their first task, then advance down Appliance Street. Though they really only need a stove, especially when their own litter explodes, they're tempted by a trip to the world of luxury, where they can win a trip to Paris and a pair of fur coats. Will they make fools of themselves in an act of greed? Will they manage to make it to Paris? What do you think of this one?
The moment that Lenny saw that salami, you could see the eyes of a man who'd found God. This was a fun blast. You know, I forgot how many silly game shows I watched as a kid because of being a 90s kid. A lot of Nickelodeon was on in the house, and things like Double Dare, What Would You Do?
Yeah.
And it was kind of fun seeing something wacky like this. And it's a very earnest episode that I feel like it is able to clearly make everyone in on the joke, even though there's a bit of the straight character and the goofball. And it is a ton of fun. And there's and at the same time, there's an interesting aspect of seeing the girls get kind of caught up in the magic of things. And, you know, the it's unfortunate, you know, to see them, you know, shoot for the moon and miss, but it's you know, it's an important life lesson, and it also it's so them.
Yeah.
It's so them.
This is a mid-leveler for me, but is pretty iconic when it comes to the physical comedy we get in this episode. The cake toss scene is pretty legendary. It's pretty well known. And the ridiculous costumes they get to wear are also pretty well known. This definitely reminds me of the 1.5 million episodes of Let's Make a Deal I used to watch on the Game Show Network when I was a kid. There's also little notes of these really, really stunt-laden things they used to make people do on The Price is Right. It never got quite as goofy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Double Dare, this gets Double Dare level to goofy.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah. Which they definitely could do.
Yeah. And, if anyone out there hasn't seen Double Dare, please definitely YouTube to see if there's any clips of that around. I'm actually going to do that right now because that was...
Double Dare is back! Double Dare is back on Nickelodeon. They're doing new episodes. Yes!
That's right. There's new episodes. But yeah, the classic episodes are up on their YouTube channel. So yeah. The Go-Getters versus the Leaping
Yeah.
Lizards. Oh God, who's the guy who hosted that show? Anyway, yeah, that was a good fun time, and it's very, very 90s. But yeah, it's agreed though. The physical comedy in this was spectacular, especially the I I love that they did them in long takes. It's like
Yeah.
two, maybe three. I think it's 3 cameras for one of the gags, but
Yes.
it's just kind of like continuous coverage of the whole thing, and they actually just play it out for real, which I felt
Yeah.
was absolutely the way to go.
Yes. They just let them hurl those cakes at one another. I loved that premature cakeulation moment that Shirley has.
Mm.
She just throws the cake before they even get towards the pole, towards the limbo pole. There's this, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh,
The Lenny and Squiggy subplot here is really, really funny to me because the boys get really, really lucky because they managed to land a moth-related question.
yes.
And the host so thought they would not know the answer, and Squiggy just riles it off because moths are his thing, and it's a lovely little victory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lenny's so proud of him. I think that's so cute. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. Before I forget, I do want to also mention the Chicky Dare or Chicky Gale,
Yes.
the host. And I love his, speaking of the moth scene, his incredulous look of like, wait, what? You know, the
Yeah.
double take he does is so perfectly done. So he was a character actor who had previously had the lead role in Loves Me, Loves Me Not a couple of years prior. And he pretty much maintained a steady diet of TV roles like Foot in the Door, Trapper John, MD. He's been trying to make a push into film roles recently, and he's still working today. But I mean, I loved him in this part, and especially him and interacting with David and Michael, like that is like some of my favorite parts of the episode. You know, like that's it's like, no, you're going to get something. What is it? Bigger and better. It's like Irma, and it's like,
Irma.
no, Irma's. and Chicky goes, it's no, Irma is mine, and it's like, whoa! But that casual delivery pulls it off.
Yeah. His inability to pronounce Kozlowski is also a good running gag, that segment. And at the very end, I don't know if this is ad-libbed or not, as Lenny and Squiggy are leaving with their lovely salami child, you hear Lenny yelling, Kozlowski! And then Chicky Dale quickly corrects himself, Kozlowski! Like he totally meant to pronounce it that way the whole time. He totally knew what he was saying. Totally. The whole darn time.
Nice.
Really, that's really good.
And also, speaking of the boys, the Letty getting too close to the microphone, like he's like it sounded like a drive-through speaker.
Yeah.
It's like, we're from the trucks.
I love the continued running gag of how bad Lenny is when confronted with a live television camera. This happens more in the LA years. Only twice does he really manage to look calm and at ease when confronted with a camera. That's mostly during the Dane game, though he does start out awkward. And there's a bit where they invade a award show. And I won't give you any more details, but it's funny. And he's actually confident on camera at that particular moment in time. But most of the time, he just like squints the lights and kind of flails away from the spotlight a bit.
Yeah. On that note, I absolutely also adore, the reactions of the girls when they get to be on the show, and Laverne's like, it's like, all right, it's like, thanks a bunch. Well, it's great to be here. Where's my prize? And
Right.
and my mom thought it was so cute. She felt kind of sad and felt it was cute that Shirley is just is just broken.
Yeah,
it's like they broke Shirley by giving her the spotlight.
Yeah, and she always tends to be the in-charge calm one. They softball her a question about her favorite movie, and she fails so utterly and instantaneously. Liberace! No!
Oh man. Yeah, but that's total Cheryl. She gets the nerves. She
Yeah.
has to puff up
Yeah.
this confidence because she's honestly very, is kind of shy and demure. And her parents were like, "No, you have to be perfect. You have to go out there and excel, and you have to be everything to everybody." And so she had to put on a face.
Yep.
Uh,
And that's
God.
her. That's Shirley. That's Shirley to a T at this point.
hmm
We hear in this episode that Mrs. Babish was on divorce court, which is somehow terrific and horrifying. Like, this poor... Consider how many broken marriages she's gone through, and the fact that she had to actually go through a live court proceeding on national television over one of them. We never find out which ex-husband that was either. But oof, good gracious.
Yeah, they gave her a toaster to ease the pain, right?
Hey, something. Better than years of alimony or lawyer fees. Good settle for one good positive thing. Frank's never-ending quest to get Laverne to promote the pizza bowl on the show is really good.
It's cute. I
It's
love
really
that.
funny.
Yeah, the payoff to that too is fantastic. And and take the oven, and it's like you can just and it's like, I'm supposed to go up to a guy and say, "Psst, I got an oven, come marry me."
And to him, that's logical. That's just how he did it.
Yeah.
I love it when she finally gets to blurt out the promo. Looking at Kent Knapp Street. Take a pie home. That's what she just goes for. It is terrific.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna mention, yes. You continue to mention the Flub-A-Dub joke
Mm-hmm.
repeatedly ever since you heard this one. That's how memorable that is. The boys hoping Flub-A-Dub will be there. I think that was adorable. That's another adorable moment I want to randomly bring up.
Yeah, and it's funny that it struck a chord in my brain because I have no clue what Flub-A-Dub even looks like.
Actually, neither do I. Come to think of it, I don't either. I'd have to probably Google up who and what Flub-A-Dub happens to be. It's good. I wonder if it's Howdy Doody. Maybe Howdy Doody. I don't know. I do not have that.
I mean, I look it up, and all I'm getting is freaking Rick and Morty wiki wubba lubba dub dub, and it was just like, no. Oh yeah, now talk about shows that got ruined by the fandom, right?
Yeah.
And no, I'm not editing that out. We're keeping that in. I liked the show until the fan base decided to take Rick as a a model for life. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, the Flub-A-Dub was cute. Which is the other thing also that's kind of neat about this show for the time it came from, was that it also was nostalgic for the adults watching it, of the stuff they grew up on.
Yes.
And it's made by people who grew up during that same period that were kids, that watched Howdy Doody and watched the game shows, and it's cool.
Yeah. There's a whole Happy Days episode where Richie ends up on Howdy Doody.
Oh, that's right. I've not seen that, but I've heard of it. I've heard of that.
Yes. There are all kinds of little references to classic television. We will have a dating game episode in season 6. It is terrific. We'll get there. We'll get there. It'll be fun. That's one of the highlights of the California years. My little dumb opinion. There is something so adorable about Squiggy and Lenny naming all of Squiggy's mobs.
Mm-hmm.
And then Squiggy waves hi to his mobs so they can see him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so cute. That's so cute. The boys end up doing something incredibly finky at the end of this episode, but the rest of everything they do in this episode is really, really cute.
It is. During the appliance alley, they pulled back the curtain and the boys are already using the appliances they're cutting the salami and making a sandwich.
Yep, making salami sandwiches on the oven range that they're trying to give to Laverne Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
What's really interesting here is that the boys settle for happy simplicity. They don't let the game rule them. They settle for a simple pleasure, a luxury they wouldn't normally have, and then they turn that luxury into money, in the naughty way that they do. while the girls could just get one little simple thing and have an improvement and have something better happen to them in their lives, instead they decide to shoot for the moon and then they can't get it together.
Right.
They end up with pastaroni, which may or may not have money in it. They haven't figured it
Right.
out.
Right. Yeah.
All I can think of is that gag where Golden Girls did a game show episode, the Grab That Dough episode, and they ended up with a skillet and all this soup. It stirs the fries. It stinks.
Oh God.
That's whatever I think of whenever I watch this episode. Reminds me of the Golden Girls. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
well, I was gonna say is the thing that's interesting also about game shows is like, I guess the question I have, do you still watch game shows and
Yes.
at all that much? Okay.
Yes.
'Cause
Yes.
I have like pretty much stopped watching them in any sort of regular fashion, like probably like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably longer than that, maybe closer to 20. Yeah, probably at 20 because I just turned 34 this past year. So yeah, okay. But anyway, yeah. So it's just interesting to see like it's very much of it feels nostalgic in a way to watch this and like it's like, oh yeah, I used to watch these things.
Yeah.
It's but even like, down to like the prizes and the elements, like the layers of nostalgia that are there when the mink coats came out and then the and the tiara. And when the tiara came out, my mom cried. I was like, oh my God, this is so 50s.
Yeah. Really is.
It's just, it's kind of one of the treasures I think of this episode in particular is that it like, it's not just capturing like, because a lot of it is the idealism of the era, but I think here is actually like sort of the kind of cultural staples as well, like the things that we like we really don't do fur coats anymore. It's all faux fur, or at least it should be faux fur, because fur coats, especially for minks.
Yeah. But, I had something to bring up in regards to that plot line. Shirley becomes a total animal activist, like no less than 5 episodes deeper into this particular season. Which is really interesting because she's really in the fur coat in this episode. And you're led to believe that her rejection of the coat is just bitterness because she lost out on it. But she becomes more and more and more of an animal activist, more anti-fur. There's a whole episode about her being anti-fur and falling in love with a furrier in season 7. So that's going to be a running theme for her. Cindy Williams is into animal activism in her life, in real life. She's an activist. She's an animal rights activist. I don't know if she's vegan or vegetarian, but this is part of why Shirley always has animals, loves animals. That's a trait of hers as well.
Got it. Cool.
There's a great line about that on the second reunion. They're all together, the boys and the girls, sitting there, and Penny says that Cindy has a thing for animals, and then David goes, hello. Then Michael cracks up just like that.
Oh, man.
It's even funnier, kids, when you remember that the two of them dated for a while.
Right. I wasn't sure whether to say that or not, but yeah.
It's public knowledge. It's right in People magazine. You can just look it up. It's literally on People magazine's archive. You can look up the article about it. And they parted amicably because they didn't think it would be good for the show, and lasted like maybe half a season. And they had fun. So hey, good for them.
Yeah, good for them. It's a rare harmless episode.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We'll take it. We'll take the harmless.
I was reading the word episode. I meant a harmless relationship, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah. As well, I thought it was kind of interesting the kind of pick me up the girls get at the end where the janitor, the custodian comes by. It kind of shows them maybe they're just taking it too seriously,
Yeah.
And I really like I wouldn't be surprised if you got letters from people all over the country, which is what a sweet thought that these gals, because Laverne and Shirley, despite all of their own personal ambitions and kind of self-centeredness from time to time, making people happy makes them really feel satisfied. That's something that they would actively love to do is to make the world a better place.
Yeah. And they want to be looked upon favorably in the end. It's like echoing back to season 1, where they get humiliated on stage at the First Shots talent show. They end up realizing that's okay. We made people happy, and that's the message here. We made people happy. It's okay. Though they really do want that money in the pastaroni. Let's be real. They want that money. They want that cash.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the pasta. So the pastaroni, because pastaroni isn't an actual product, is it? Because my mother.
No. I'm presuming it's a joke about rice-a-roni.
Right.
It's a rice-a-roni joke. Yeah.
So I was curious, like my mother and I were wondering if this is something they used to give out on game shows in the 50s and 60s, because well, the other reason is Rocko's Modern Life made the same joke. Remember, it was the here's what you've won, rice-a-roni, the San Fernando treat.
Yeah. They used to give out either a lifetime supply or a gift certificate to buy a lot of rice-a-roni. Rice-a-roni used to sponsor things. I can't remember if it was Wheel of Fortune or if it was Let's Make a Deal. It was one or the other. But they used to have a big sponsorship with rice-a-roni, and the parting gift would be rice-a-roni. So, there you go. Come sponsor us, rice-a-roni. Anyway.
Today I learned, and today hopefully we just earned a sponsorship.
Yeah. Give us money, we'll eat your rice.
Yep. I like rice. Dude, I'm part, basically part Indian practically. So hey, it's part of it's in my DNA. I feel uncomfortable. I feel uncomfortable if I go too many months without it. That's right. My mother's making lentils today. Ooh. Anyway, but back on track. Speaking of food, does that move us onto the pizza bowl? Because I'm just running out of stuff to like comment on.
I was going to make a couple references to some really funny lines in here.
Oh, yeah.
Where Laverne talks about how dirty their oven is. And Shirley just looks at the camera and goes, "She's kidding, America." No, I'm not. That was great. That was great. And, of course, the infamous line, "This is the second best thing I've ever felt."
Yes.
And I forget that Laverne says that. So she's experienced something at this point in canon.
Yeah.
We don't know what, but she's experienced something because this is the 70s / the 80s and they ain't going to tell us. But,
Yep.
I love that line. I just love that line because it's so true. And it's so Laverne. That's one of my favorite Laverne lines.
Yeah. Well, now, mind you, innocently, it could just be feeling a little kitten in her palm of her hand probably was better. Because, I mean, think of a little kitten and it's looking up at you and it's like Mew and all that. And it's like, no, that's so precious.
Soft and cuddly.
Yeah,
easy to
there you go.
pet.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So at the time of this recording, there is a really adorable little pup down the street that has finally gotten like kind of more mature size. But over the summer, we watched it grow up, and the dog's name is Nugget, and he was like literally like the size of my hand. Like that's how small he was. He was this little like brown tuft, running around. It just, God, he was so cute.
Do you know how jealous I am of you right now? I would pay so much money to pet a dog right now.
Oh, I know. Yeah. No, I haven't
petted a dog
him
in my life.
Yeah, my mom got to give him some attention when my mom went for a walk, but yeah, I haven't had that opportunity yet. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, that's still though. So I guess Laverne being Laverne, it could be something precious, and it also could be some smutty.
Pure smut.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention two more things before we get to the tag scene. Lenny hones in on a girl with warts. This is the first time that we get to hear about various kinks that he has. There's a couple of offers coming up. Squiggy blurts out two of them, but Squiggy has a more interesting kink. And we're going to hear about it in the California years. There's a great scene in season 5 where we find out which portion of Lenny's anatomy is the most sensitive. Let me put it that way. And this is all on page and on screen during the family hour.
It's another reminder that, sometimes it's unfortunate that this is an audio show because my facial expression. Okay, dear. Okay. Sensitive parts of banana. It is very funny. But yeah, the warts though did get a chuckle out of me. Like, whoa, yes, okay, buddy, settle down, boy.
That establishes a pattern with him, though.
Gotcha.
By the time we get to season 7 and the words "wet wool" come up, you will be laughing in retrospective memory of this episode. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Hmm.
Yeah, wet wool. Those are our watchwords right now. Okay.
Okay. Wet wool. Got it.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Our audience is nodding. I'm nodding. You're not, but you will be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh,
okay.
man.
Now let's go to the tag scene.
Yeah. Let's see. So my notes on the tag scene were, I gotta scroll back down because I was trying to see if I found the warts thing. It's so adorable. Laverne's trying to make the dough. It's sad that she's having trouble with it, but it's so precious.
Yep. She's making a pizza. It's a lopsided pizza, but it's a pizza. She's trying. She's trying to be like her father. She's trying to learn.
Yep. I think I've made 3 pizza crusts in my life, most of them before the age of 13. Yeah. One of them was okay.
Yeah.
All the others were about as bad or worse than what Laverne did. So don't worry, Laverne. I get it. I've been there. I mean, I was a child at the time, but I get it.
Yeah. I've done better, but I'm an experienced baker, so I've had that experience behind me. I got that Pillsbury boxed pizza dough, which came out pretty good. Nice. I've used the tube kind. I've made my own and hand rolled it. They've all generally turned out pretty well. I make this like really incredible pizza with barbecue chicken on it.
Ooh.
And bacon, and olives, and cheese.
Torture.
Yeah. In case you're wondering, audience, Chris can't have gluten, so this is like I'm stabbing him in the ribs with my words, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They do make gluten-free pizza dough. So you can.
They make some. Yeah, they. Oh yeah, no, and in Portland we have a lot of great gluten-free pizza pies at certain places. Sizzle Pie is pretty good.
Yeah,
they're one of the better ones.
Yeah.
There was one I found that was really good. That was this little small spot, but I don't remember what it was called. And they're on, oh god, Division.
Facebook?
Powell. They're on Powell. That's what it is. Yeah, because you cross the Ross Island Bridge to head up that way. That's right. So it's on Powell somewhere. I mean, I don't know. By the time this episode goes up, maybe it'll be dead because the pandemic had killed it, or the economy will have killed it, or just whatever.
Knocking wood for them. Knocking wood for them. Yeah. I'm still just worried about Powell's at this point. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. How are they holding up? Well, they stopped selling through Amazon, so they should be okay.
Yes. They should be all right. Yeah. It did remind me I need to order more books from them. Yeah. But back to the pizza rolling.
Yes.
And the put your palm down and the physical comedy and Laverne just swing. No. My mother mentioned that it looked like it actually did hurt quite a bit. I'm kind of curious. It probably, because that's the thing. Stunts are one of those things you get used to. You're gonna take the knocks.
Yeah. Well, as we said before, nobody thankfully got seriously injured on the set of Laverne Shirley. People got hurt temporarily. They bruised parts of their bodies. They cut themselves. Like I said, in a season 8 episode, Penny was dropped by mistake off of a set of guide wires and bruised one whole side of her body. And somehow it didn't manage to break anything or have any internal injuries. But that's the most serious thing that happened to her on the set. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yep.
When we get into the more stunt-heavy episodes that are coming up this season, you're going to go, my God, nobody got injured, nobody died. And it's like, nope, everybody's fine.
Human body is just kind of weird like that. I mean, you and I, we've watched Kung Fu movies. We watch all these Jackie Chan films. We've watched, some of the Indonesian and Thai action flicks. It's like, how the hell do these people... And they get back up, it's like, cool, we're good. Thumbs up.
Yeah, sometimes you watch a series of bloopers at the end of a Jackie Chan movie and you wonder how he managed to live. Yeah. But he lived. He's still with us. And as of this recording, hallelujah, still with us. Knocking wood. Okay, Frank thinks that Laverne's plug worked. They do indeed have a line of customers. They're happy. And they unlock the doors and in come Lenny and Squiggy with a lot of money.
I'm in the money. I'm in the money.
I'm a genius.
That's quite a Jimmy Pesto move, isn't it?
Yeah. God, now just imagine the boys opening up. Actually, they do open up a rival restaurant at one point. It does happen in season 5. Oh, and it turns out as horribly as you can imagine.
Oh,
we'll
no,
get
boy.
there. We'll get there. That's next season. We'll get there. But yeah, that's a total Jimmy Pesto move. That's selling sandwiches while these people are in line to come eat Frank's food is cheap. That's one of the cheapest moves that they make in canon. Apparently, they give them all the money because Frank otherwise beat the snot out of them. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you even notice when he chases them off and goes after him, Laverne grabs what cash she can off the floor that falls off. So
yeah,
smart girl.
Yeah.
Just pick it up, put it in the register.
Yep. That reminds me of what happens when the boys tried to grab up all their money from the cruise. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Oh God, payback sucks, don't it, boys?
Yeah. And ultimately, in the end, everybody gets what they want, except for an oven.
Yep, pretty much.
Nobody gets to have an oven. Thankfully, Laverne's father owns a restaurant. They won't starve. But jeez.
Yes. Yeah. No, totally.
It's never explained how the oven got replaced. It's just there by the next episode. So you can't ask me.
It's a TV. It's just repeat to yourself. It's just a show. I should really just relax. Yeah.
Twang. Okay. I think it's rain time. It's rain time.
I think it is. I'm kind of going. I mean, I've really enjoyed a lot about this. I like the guest characters. I like the game show stuff. I'd give this a solid 7.5, maybe an 8 on a good day.
This is around a 7 for me. The way the boys plot and the girls plot eventually dovetail together really works for me. It's funny. It's got the show's ability to pull off really funny stunts. Memorable side characters. A good moral about how you shouldn't let greed wrap you up and ruin your life. It's just go for what you need. It's overall a really pleasant, fun episode. Not my absolute favorite episode of the show, but it's a nice, good, watchable, high mid-pack episode.
It's a good.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Awesome. I guess is that. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else to say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess with that, thank you again, everybody, for joining us for Night After Night. And if you'd like to know more, please join us at Night After Night PC on Twitter or Night After Night Pod on Facebook, Tumblr, WordPress, and Patreon. And I think that's kind of our main sort of spiel. We've been, at this now for quite some time, and I guess as we go back to the show, back to moving forward and moving on and pushing on, I feel like I need to kind of learn something here, because that's the catch with this episode. There wasn't really a lesson to be learned necessarily, but not a really hard fought lesson. So what about it, Lisa? Are we going to learn something next episode?
Yeah, the tale says it all. Laverne Shirley go to night school.
Hey, well that's good. That's great. I should be free nights. I'm kind of free. I mean, night after night after night. I was waiting for you to say it. After night after night after night.
I'm sitting there waiting for him to say it. I was like, he's gonna say it. Yeah. Come on. You've noticed me make that reference multiple times in other stuff now, so it is a thing. Yep. Oh, gosh.
Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks again, everybody, and hope you join us next time.
Have a good one, y'all.